4 Ukrainian infantrymen were spotted by a Russian FPV drone while on the move. While searching for a place to hide, they came upon a cemetery. They then took cover inside a small building near the cemetery. However, their location had already been compromised. After several strikes, the building was destroyed. Russian FPV drone operators quickly located Ukrainian infantry units in open areas and under trees, in very close proximity to each other. An FPV drone was then sent to each group. What happened next unfolded.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe, and like.
During the night, Garan kamikaze UAVs struck a thermal power plant and a train station in Kamyanske, Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. Army UAV operators are systematically working to destroy enemy equipment in the direction of Polotsk. First, the position of Ukrainian forces was destroyed. Then, the vehicle they were using was destroyed. As can be seen in the images, the 218th Guard Tank Regiment, part of the 127th Division of the 5th Army of the Eastern Group, despite the cold and having to advance and attack immediately after crossing the river, the soldiers of the 218th Guards Tank Regiment are reaching the Yanchur River in this terrain as stealthily as possible and crossing it on foot. In the next frames, Primorsky soldiers, under the protection of drones, reach the southwestern outskirts of the settlement and pass through it. The infantry of the 218th Guards Tank Regiment proved that they were in no way inferior to tanks in terms of the number of armored vehicles, and that even on foot, they did not break through enemy defenses any worse than a tank company. We would like to remind you that in the area of responsibility of the Vostok units, a settlement is considered captured when the enemy is completely expelled and Russian units have prepared defensive lines against possible counterattacks. A Ukrainian ground robotic platform carrying supplies was destroyed by a Russian FPV drone in the Kupiansk direction. Liptsy direction. As a result of a well-organized ambush, a pickup truck belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces was destroyed. One of the soldiers was found lost in the forest after losing his pickup truck. Russian drone operators struck a Ukrainian UAV control center and 2 enemy sabotage and reconnaissance groups in the Konstantinovka district of Donetsk. All strikes were objectively verified. In a series of attacks carried out by KVN fiber optic FPV drone operators in the forested area of the Sumy region, a 155mm 2S22 Bodana motorized gun mounted on an 888 Tatra T-158 chassis was destroyed. In the footage, the modern war gods, who are the Russian armed forces' best FPV fiber optic operators, destroy a Ukrainian armed forces 155mm 2S22 Bodana self-propelled gun in the Kharkiv region. Russian FPV UAV pilots continue to zero in on enemy artillery units in the Volchansk direction, depriving the remnants of the Ukrainian armed forces garrison in the long-suffering city of fire support. The epic arrival of the Russian Garin UAV at a transformer station near the village of Horodnya in the Chernihiv region. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. Russian northern drone operators are destroying enemy radio electronic equipment. The footage shows northerners destroying 2 radar stations, 5 communication antennas, and 2 Starlink satellite communication terminals with their UAV units. The robot war continues in Donbass. Drone operators from the South Group are destroying the Ukrainian forces' ground robotic platforms one by one on this side of the front line. The Ministry of Defense reported that attack aircraft of the Western Group captured and cleared positions of the armed forces of Ukraine in Donetsk.
Давай к ним, туда!
Выходи! К нам! К нам!
Второй выходит!
Пошел!
Лег,
вот сюда, лег!
Нету больше никого!
Второй!
Второй, бегом! Все, выходи
Вылазь!
туда! К спецназу выходи!
Сюда ложись!
Kharkiv direction. The Russian FPV crew struck the control center of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Vampire UAVs, destroyed the mast and all equipment with communications in the direction of the repeater and the cellar. Write your thoughts about the drones in the comments. Russian drone operators are constantly flying in the direction of Konstantinovsky, like an eye in the sky. Here, on a dry dirt road, an ATV of the Ukrainian armed forces was hit, and its crew abandoned the bike and fled. An attack drone slowly approached it and destroyed the ATV. The passengers of the ATV must have temporarily hidden somewhere. But this is very open terrain, and there are not many hiding places. Russian reconnaissance drone operators spotted the soldier fleeing attacks and hiding in a hut. The attack drones then mobilized and flew to the hut. When the attack drone arrived at the hut, this is what happened. An FPV drone of the 42nd Motorized Infantry Division of the Dnipro troops destroyed a bunker of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Zaporizhzhia region. Soldiers of the Vostok Group destroyed a Ukrainian armed forces T-64 tank near the village of Bogatyr in Donetsk. The combat vehicle exploded on an anti-tank mine. The impact of a Lancet barrage ammunition caused the tank's ammunition package to explode. FPV drones finished off the target. Russian reconnaissance drone operators discovered trenches and bunkers actively used by Ukrainian armed forces personnel. The coordinates were then relayed to the artillery and fiber optic drone operators, and the attacks began. First, the artillery shelled the positions intensively. Then the attacking fiber optic drones went into action and precisely penetrated the bunkers and blew them up. Su-34 crews of the Vostok Group of the 11th Guards Air Force and Air Defense Army, using FAB 500s of the UMPK, attacked air infiltration points of the armed forces of Ukraine in the villages of Novopol and Demidovka. During aerial reconnaissance near the village of Bely Kolodez in the Kharkiv region, the operator of the northern UAV revealed the location of Ukraine's camouflaged electronic warfare station. A kamikaze drone using fiber optics managed to approach the target without interference and inflict fire damage to it. Russian reconnaissance drone operators revealed the reinforcement group of the Ukrainian armed forces. After precisely calculating the coordinates, the aircraft-type UAV was activated and dealt a hard blow to the position. The position and equipment were destroyed. Ukrainian trenches and bunkers were heavily shelled by Russian artillery. Several Ukrainian infantrymen were trapped by the collapse of the earth. A Ukrainian soldier saved the lives of his friends by digging the earth with his hands to save them. The fighting on the front continues in full intensity. We are working hard all day to prepare unique images for you. Don't forget to support us.
Все нормально, живий. Можеш рухатись?
Придавило ще одну руку.
Пацани, розкапуйте зі свого боку.
Давайте быстрее, блядь, відкапуй! Або дай я, якщо не можеш. Виходь!
Серега, все нормально, зараз витащимо.
Та не спіши. Я все нормально чувствую. Вроді би.
Братан, давай! Руку шевелиться! Давай, братан! Руку тяни! Скажи, хай поможе!
Пошов!
Все, вперед, туди пішли, блядь!
Серега, ты как? Нормально?
This is how a Russian aircraft-type attack drone hit the Ukrainian armed forces position in Chasiv Yar. Aircraft-type drones with powerful ammunition carry out impressive attacks on designated targets. In the Pokrovsk direction, the 255th Regiment continues to strike the equipment of the Ukrainian armed forces. Fiber optic drone Prince Vandal of Novgorod was used in these attacks. After an accurate hit, the armored personnel car lost its rotation. The personnel quickly left the vehicle and hid under the trees. Russian drones with thermobaric warheads destroyed the Starlink terminal of the Ukrainian armed forces. The infantrymen inside went outside to check the equipment after the attack. Seeing other Russian attacks coming, the personnel quickly returned inside the building. A Russian fiber-optic drone destroyed a vehicle of the Ukrainian armed forces at a temporary deployment point. Soldiers now have to go on foot. Russian UAV operators detected the two S-3 Akatsiya 152mm self-propelled howitzer in a small hiding place. Then the fiber-optic drone Prince Vandal of Novgorod took off and hit the self-propelled howitzer. Another fiber-optic drone was sent to deliver the final strike. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. An armored vehicle of the armed forces of Ukraine was standing alone on the road. A Russian attack FPV drone approached the armored vehicle and turned around to inspect it. Then it noticed that the hatch on the top of the armored vehicle was open and entered the armored vehicle and wrecked the armored vehicle. Russian UAV operators found the temporary deployment point of the 155th Ombre of the Ukrainian armed forces in one of the buildings and then transmitted the coordinates to the artillery. It is noteworthy that the bird, located a few meters away, flew away seconds before the attack. Russian artillery destroyed the position. Russian troops continue to send armored vehicles to support the Kursk region. Tanks, armored personnel carriers, Grad MLRS, pickup trucks, and many more. Here are the Bradleys abandoned in Kursk. They are being taken for display. Engineers will examine these armored vehicles. Steel infantry guards destroyed 144 MSD's 2 S-1 Gvozdika. There are fierce clashes in this part of the front. However, the Russian army continues to advance. The Gvozdika has a caliber of 122 millimeters. It has a range of 15 kilometers with standard ammunition and up to 21 kilometers with rocket-assisted ammunition. 2 S-1 Gvozdika is still effectively used in modern wars as a light, amphibious, and fast deployable artillery system.